Nosferatu. I hope I said that right. I'm not good at saying these weird words. This is the new remake of Nosferatu and essentially Dracula. It's adapted from the Dracula, um, Bram Stoker's Dracula. Um, and it is the new Robert Eggers movie. The last movie he did, The Northman, was like my second or third movie, I believe, of 2022. I really, really like The Northman. I bought it on Black Friday last year when Black Friday was still selling Blu-rays. Hint, hint, Black Friday, sell Blu-rays. Anyways, um, so yeah, this is the new Robert Eggers movie, and I have not always loved Robert Eggers. I do like The Lighthouse, and I did like The Northman. Did not like The Witch at all, and I believe those are the four movies he's made. Well, this counts as the fourth. Um, so yeah, he's still early on in his career. I did not like The Witch though at all. I thought the movie was a pile of crap. So this is a new one. I was very excited for it because after The Northman, I was very excited to see it. Um, and I love his camera work. I love how he works with the cinematographer. I love how his movies look. They are so beautiful. They are so epic. His long one shots that he does. I did listen to the commentary. I believe I did a review actually on the commentary with the Northman. Northman. I can't talk today because of my cold. Um, and just all the things that Robert Eggers did to make that movie is insane. Um, and so yeah, I love his the way he does things, and I was excited to see that for a vampire tale. So I went and saw this last night. I got to it a little late just because on Christmas my dog was attacked by another dog. So I kind of had to stay home with him. He was going crazy, freaking out, traumatized. So, but we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Nosferatu. Um, and so I saw it last night. It just from the minute it starts, it's absolutely beautiful. This movie, even though it's not in black and white, there are definitely sequences that are in black and white. It looks black and white at time, and it feels very gothic, and definitely of its time. That's my dog's toy that I'm playing with. It is just so beautifully shot once again by his cinematographer. I don't remember his cinematographer's name. I should, but I don't. Yeah, it's so beautifully done, and it just looks so beautiful. There are lots of long takes in this where the camera doesn't cut, and you just get a feel of this world. And it takes place in the what is it, late 1800s, mid 1800s, something like that, um, in Germany, and it just looks incredible. You feel like you were there. You feel the cold in sequences where it's cold. You feel the mystery and the uneasiness of each scene in this movie, and it's absolutely wonderful. Um, what's his name? Not Ed Sheeran. We're just gonna go to IMDb because I can't remember things today, guys. The guy who's gonna play Lex Luthor. What's his name? Luther? Did I say that right? Luther? Nicholas Holt. I was way off. Nicholas Holt. Holt. Is kind of the main guy in this. That and Lily Rose Depp. They play husband and wife. And it is the classic story that you've already seen in a few different movies, really. Um, husband is like this real estate agent essentially, and he has to go to this castle to get Count Orlok. Uh, he has to go meet with Count Orlok to possibly sell him this old mansion in his neighborhood, and things kind of go from there. And Count Orlok has this obsession with his wife for reasons that you learn as you watch throughout the movie, and things kind of go from there. Um, for starters, with this movie, I within the first 30 minutes, I went, the passage of time is kind of interesting here. Like the movie starts and then it says some years later. And then there's supposed to be this 6-month trip to Count Oric's castle, and it feels like it takes place in 5 minutes. And then you're at Count Oric's castle, and you feel like you're there for about 5 minutes. And the movie's 2 hours and like 15 minutes, 2 hours, 12 minutes, something like that. So it's fairly long. Um, and so the beginning just kind of feels rushed. And then we get to the second half of the movie where we are back in Germany, and there's like this. Oh, I didn't know my phone could do that. Anyways, there is this. There's this plot with like a plague going on that is brought on by Nosferatu. We're just gonna say the Nos man, Nosferatu. I can't say it. Anyways, that is kind of brought on by Nosferatu, and there's a lot given to that. And while it is interesting, and while it does remind me of COVID a little bit, um, it it got to be a little too much. I think this movie's a little too long, and I think it could have stayed its same runtime if they had focused more on towards the beginning of this. It focused a lot more on the aftermath of Nicholas Holt's character going to this castle. I think, and not enough time on. It spends a lot of time. It spends some time on him going to the castle and such, and that part of it. It does not spend enough time there though. There's more given to the aftermath than there is the before, and I think you need a little bit of the before to really be more invested with this because I think it just kind of gets a little boring at times. Aaron Taylor Johnson is in this movie. He's doing much better than he does in Craven. He has an interesting kind of story arc. He gets involved with all this. Bill Skarsgard is Count Orlok, and he is absolutely wonderful. You would not be able to tell that it is him. Same guy who played Pennywise, brother to not, who's the guy that played him in The Northman. One of the Skarsgards played it. It doesn't matter. Brother to the guy who was the main guy in The Northman. So he likes working. Edgar's loves working with the Skarsgards. I guess, because this is like the second time he's worked with them. Also, Willem Dafoe is back in this movie. This is the third time he's worked with him now. Willem Dafoe is great as well. He's kind of supposed to be this crazy, kooky guy, which we all know Willem Dafoe can do that. He does such a great job with that. All the acting in this really is just fantastic. The visuals are so wonderful. Um, there's certain shots you watch this and you're like, how did he do that? How did they do this? It's crazy, especially since it doesn't really feel like there's a lot of special effects in this. It feels like everything was kind of done practically. I could be wrong on that. Maybe it's just really good special effects, or it's the right special effects that blends practical and special effects together. Terrifier mug because Christmas and well, Terrifier is awesome. I love Terrifier. And yeah, I just think maybe there are some special effects in here and it's just really blending it really well. There are just such beautiful long shots. This is such a beautifully made movie technically. And it is so just so beautiful. It just you could pause any scene in this movie really and just turn it into a poster. It just looks that great. Um, as far as the story goes, like I said, I think the first half struggles. The second half, well, the first and second half struggles. The first half is a little bit more compelling, I think, than the second half, and the second half just has a little too much to it. And I think the second half also has a little too much going on with it. It cuts from character to character a little bit. And I also think you've just seen this before. So if you've seen it before, you know where it's going and such. Um, so yeah, we'll say that as well. Um, what else do I have to say about this? I, I, I don't know what else I have to say about this. I really don't. It is good. It's not a movie I want to rewatch the way I do with The Northman. I think The Lighthouse was kind of similar, where I think I've only watched The Lighthouse twice. I've seen The Northman quite a few times now. I loved The Northman. Um, and what's interesting is The Northman is Hamlet, uh, to the point that like his characters call it what is it, Yamlet or something like that, or something like that. Is so it is the exact same story, but I just found it more compelling because I think the story is more placed out. We get the origin essentially, and we get the entire story, and every part has a significant importance to it. Whereas this movie, it just the beginning feels so rushed almost, and then the ending just kind of feels like it takes forever to get there. Um, and yeah, the movie looks great. It is great. I don't think this movie is scary. I was talking to a coworker and he said I heard it's so scary. I'm like, as I'm watching, I'm like, this isn't scary. There's some creepy imagery, don't get me wrong. There's some gory-ish kind of things that happen, but it's not scary. It's more of like this gothic kind of psychological thriller, I would say. So it's really not scary. Um, but yeah, at the end of the day, I did enjoy this. I didn't love it as much as I wanted to. Not as good as The Northman. And actually, I just saw my grade. I gave this an 8 out of 10 last night. I'm changing this to a 7 out of 10. It's good. Don't get me wrong. I wanted this to like be in my top 10 of the year. I don't think I'm going to get it there. It's an honorable mention for sure. But I didn't quite love it as much as I thought I was going to. It's just so familiar. The first half is just so rushed. The sense of time is just kind of all over the place. Um, and while the acting is great, while it looks great, I just think at the end of the day, I just was kind of getting bored by this. This is a movie that I was checking my watch a little bit, and I just don't see myself ever wanting to rewatch it. So for that reason, 7 out of 10. It is good. Definitely check it out. Go support this movie. It is a movie that we want more movies like this because it is so beautifully done and so well crafted and so well acted. So that is my review of Nosferatu. I still can't say it because, well, I don't know how to say things. I hope you guys have yourself a great day. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and hey, I'll see you next time.